welcome back to another episode of the Direct Sellers Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Perry, and I am so happy to be here. Today, we are going to talk about how you can double your sales starting today. How's that sound? Does that sound like a good one? I was thinking this would be super fun because I think so many of you, what I'm hearing is you're not getting the sales that you want. Things aren't working the way they used to. Parties aren't producing the results that they used to. You can't seem to get the parties that you used to on your calendar. People aren't buying as much. Things are just not working the way that you would really like. And sometimes you do have really great months, but then other months you're like, this is not as great as I thought it was going to be. Like, what's going on? What am I missing? So we're going to dive into that today. But before we get started, I just want to say, how are you? I just want to ask, are you doing good? I hope so. If you're watching this on YouTube, can we just talk about these hairs that are just poking up? I mean, it's what? And they're probably all gray. That's not cool. That's not cool hair. Okay. So this has been a fun week for me, a crazy week. My sister and her family have been here. They live in Charlotte and their spring break is this week. Our spring break was last week, but we actually had 2 days off this week with our spring break. So my sister came up and they did the DC thing because I'm in Northern Virginia. So they used our house as home base. And it's just been so much fun just being with her kids and being with my sister. And we just had And they've just been doing all these things. We went to the Spy Museum with them, which, by the way, if you've never been to DC or if you ever come to DC or maybe you live in this area, you need to go to the Spy Museum. It is freaking amazing. And I went to the Spy Museum years and years ago when it was a lot smaller and in a different place. This one is mind-blowing, 100% worth the money. So I would definitely advise you to go. If you have never been to DC, I would totally suggest you come and visit. Tell me when you're here. Maybe we can meet for coffee. I'm not even kidding. I don't even drink coffee. We could go to McDonald's and get a Diet Coke. Okay? Seriously, you need to reach out to me. I was actually thinking about doing a meetup in Northern Virginia. I don't know. Would anyone be interested in that? Just come and hang out and we could do a little training. What do you think? That sounds at all of interest to you, please tell me and I'll do it. Maybe you live locally. It could just be a little small get together. I think I've decided right now I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Not right now, but I'm going to do it. Anyway. All right. Let's dive into the topic at hand. Okay. Let's stop talking and dreaming for a second. All right. So I'm going to give you 4 things to do. Really 3 and 1 is a bonus. 3 things that you need to do if you want to double your sales this month. The first one is not a shocker. Can you guess what I'm going to say? You need to take the time to nail down who your ideal customer is. And I realize sometimes this takes a little bit of time to do, but this is the most important piece when it comes to building your business. It is not a numbers game. We've been taught that. You may still be being taught that, not by me. It is not a numbers game that we are in, okay? It's a relationship business that we're in. And if you don't know who your ideal customer is, you're not going to be able to nail down the language you need to be using. Because what happens is it starts with your ideal customer. So many direct sellers say things like, okay, well, literally everything that I sell, anyone who eats, okay, will benefit from my product. Or anyone who breathes would benefit from my product. Ugh. Okay. So yes, I sell Saint makeup. Anyone who wears makeup could benefit from my makeup. All right. But if I was really diving into this business and I wanted to double my sales, y'all, I would have to be more specific than that. Because if I'm just selling to anyone who wears makeup, that language is not going to resonate. There are people in all different stages of life. There are people who like to wear lots of makeup. There are people who don't like to wear makeup. There are people who have no clue what they're doing. There are people who know exactly what to do. Like, you have got to narrow down who your ideal customer is, because if you can nail that down, you're going to be able, you will find the person who needs what you have to offer. That's literally the first and most important piece, is really understanding who you are speaking to, because you have something to offer. You have something to offer. Okay. You have a solution to the problem of your ideal customer. But if you're not talking to your ideal customer, then you're not going to be able to offer her a solution, because you don't know what the problem is. Do you see where I'm going here? We talk about this in my 3 to 5K program. In fact, we talked about this past week. Like, y'all, it is so important. And also, I kind of want to just interject here. This is a little bit off topic, but it just popped into my head. I think there is, maybe this is a whole podcast episode, but I think there seems to be a fear of selling. And we've done a podcast episode with my sales coach, Candace, a few months ago, and that's a listen to. Like, you need to go listen to that if you struggle with sales. But sales is not a bad thing. Selling your product is not a bad thing. I sent an email out yesterday that was like, what is the one thing? This is the one thing you're missing in your business. If you want to know what it is, tell me. And I said, and the answer is, you're not focusing on sales. And I think there is a belief that selling your product is bad, and it's not. Selling is actually serving, because you're offering a solution to your problem. Does that mean you should be spammy? No. Does that mean you should cold message people and offer your product? No. Does that mean you should only talk about your product? No. Okay. But the act of actually selling and offering a solution to someone's problem is not a bad thing. And if you want to double your sales, you really do have to get okay with selling. And a lot of people have said to me, well, I didn't get into this. I got into this business for community, or I got into this business because I love the product. Amazing. But if you're like running this as a business, if you want this to be a business, selling is part of it. Making money is part of it. And making money is not a bad thing. Money is awesome. You can do incredible things with money, right? We don't need to worship money. We don't need to idolize money. But money is a tool that allows us freedom. It allows us to be able to serve at an even deeper level. Money is just energy. It's just a tool. So if you have a weirdness around selling or a weirdness around money, I'm going to challenge you and encourage you to kind of get to the bottom of that, because there is so much power in embracing the idea of selling. Like, I am not embarrassed to talk to someone on a call and offer my program to them. Why? Because I know that my 3 to 5K program is the solution they need to make 5 to 10K a month in their business. I know that. I do not have any issues with selling that. I also have no issues if someone says no. It just means it's not right for them at this time. I have plenty of people who say yes because they see it as a solution to their problem. There is no guilt involved there. There's no shame, because selling is just what I do, but I serve, y'all. This is why I do what I do, because I want to help you find success in your business. I want you to be making that 5 to 10K a month without the stress in your life. I want you making that 5 to 10K a month without working insane hours. And it can all be done if you just follow the right steps. Okay. Okay. And while we're talking about that, if you're interested in finding more about the 3 to 5K program, just message me on Instagram at Rachel A. Perry. Just say 3 to 5K and we'll chat. Okay. Number 2, remember, we're doubling our sales. So you've nailed down your ideal customer. Now what you're going to do is you are going to reach out to your current list of customers. And I would even go back 6 months. You guys have heard that phrase, the fortune is in the follow-up, right? We leave money on the table more often than we can count. Okay. It's so true. Your hottest market right now is your current customer list. Okay. Now, you can't keep going back to them every day. But y'all, I bet you can go back 6 months. If you've been in the business long enough, you can go back 6 months and go back and look and see what people purchased. Maybe your company has just come out with some new product. So go back and look and see what they've purchased. And then maybe you can tell them that you have a newer version available, or maybe there's something that complements the thing that they purchased before, or maybe if they purchase something that they use and it's probably time for them to get refills. This is a great way to do it. Again, I would encourage you to make these personalized. I would encourage you to really just tap into what it is that they love. If you take notes on your customers, which you should totally do, that way you can figure out, like, you can start these conversations again. But remember, you're serving them. Like, why did they buy this, whatever they bought in the first place? Let's say they just bought some blush. Okay. I'm saying that because I sell makeup. So they just bought some, or they bought 6 months ago, they bought blush. Well, chances are they're probably out of that blush, or they're tired of it and they might want something new. So I might be like, girl, listen, we just have a new shade of the month. You're going to love this because you got the plum last time. This has similar colors, but it's a little lighter, which is great for the summer. Let me know if you're interested, or would you like the link, or whatever. Okay. You're connecting with them. You're serving them, right? Okay. So the possibilities are endless when it comes to reaching out to your current list of customers. All right. The third step would be to host some kind, and this is if you're trying to double your sales. Like maybe you're on, because maybe you're on like you're trying really hard to reach a certain goal. And you can do this every month. One of my biggest things to share is that I do believe that you can make 5K a month without relying on parties. So if you are from a party planning company, I think parties are different than they used to be. And I don't believe you need to rely on them the way they used to be. However, if you host a monthly workshop or a class or an event to teach fun solutions to a problem your ideal customer has, that's a really great way to get some sales, to make some connections. The key though is that this event must be something your ideal customer wants to learn about. Right? So if my ideal customer, they're moms of teenagers, let's say, who are finally they're not rushing around like they used to. I mean, we still are, but we have a little bit more time in the morning now than we did when they were little, but we just don't know what to do because our face has changed. Like our face hasn't changed, but our skin has changed. So our makeup is different. Right? But if I was doing a class on how to contour your face, and my ideal customer is more concerned about getting the makeup to stay on their face, right? Because their skin has changed, then that's not going to be as interesting, right? I've got to really understand what my ideal customer wants. That goes back to the first step, right? You've got to know who your ideal customer is and what she wants. And listen, sometimes you might think you know what your ideal customer wants, but you don't. You've got to ask questions, you've got to have conversations, and you've got to listen. So I've talked about this before. Conversations. You should be talking and having conversations with people all the time. And I don't just mean in person. I mean like online, like when you comment on someone's post, when you share content and invite them to respond, like start talking to people and really listen to what they say, because when they tell you what they want, you can then create an event, a workshop, a class, whatever, to teach that to the rest of your audience. Okay. So have these conversations, listen to what they're saying, because the key here is to listen and understand, right? So even using their language, you want to use the language that your ideal customer uses. And I was giving this example to my 3 to 5K program the other day. So I was talking to someone and she was talking about keeping her title each month. And I thought, okay, I have not been using the word title. Now, the trouble with indirect sales as a coach is that all companies use different things. Some say rank up, some say title, some say promote. It doesn't matter. So I have to be really wary of that and use the different terminology. But when I posted something after that call, I was like, I'm going to use the word title and see if it resonates more with my audience than, let's say, rank up. It's really important for you to test things. It's important for you to use things. It's important for you to listen, okay? To use the things that you hear. All right. So those are the top 3. Know who your ideal customer is. Reach out to your current list of customers and offer like an upsell, offer them something else, introduce them to the new product, whatever it is. Number 3, host a monthly workshop, class, event, whatever it is. And it can be in person or it can be online. Listen, online parties are not working the way they used to. So you may want to step a little bit out of your comfort zone and consider doing an in-person event, maybe at your house. I have a client who her house just really isn't an option. She has little kids. It's just not conducive for that, but she does have a garage. And she's like, I'm going to have like a warehouse sale in my garage, right? Awesome. Do what you can. All right. But the last one, this is the bonus. The bonus is I want you to get scrappy. This is a word we are using in the 3 to 5K. How are you getting scrappy this month? Okay. Don't wait for things to fall in your lap. This kind of goes off what we talked about last week. Don't wait for things to fall in your lap. Make them happen. And if something doesn't work or you try something and it flops and you try it again and it flops again, girl, pick yourself up and figure out something else. We've got to get scrappy. That doesn't mean get spammy. It doesn't mean get salesy. It means get scrappy. What can you do? Let's stop sitting here waiting for things to happen to us. Let's stop spending a ton of time creating content and then saying nobody wants to buy. Instead, let's get in front of our customers. Let's get in front of our audience. Let's do the thing. Let's get scrappy. Okay? Because listen, you're not someone who just sits and waits for things to happen. You're a business owner. You are a business owner who has a huge impact to make. You are a business owner who wants to serve. You are a business owner who wants to make money, and there is nothing wrong with that. Okay? So I want you to get scrappy. You ready for that? Are you ready to get scrappy? All right, let's do it. I will see you next week for another episode of the Direct Sellers Podcast. Until then, my beautiful friends, take care.